Before we get into today's stories, I just wanted to say thank you to all who have subscribed and are continuing to listen to these stories. I haven't posted in a while, just needed to take care of a few things around here. I do plan on posting at least once every month from here on out. So with that being said, let's get into today's stories. In the small town of Wabash, Indiana, there's an old stretch of railroad tracks that locals avoid after dark. The story goes that many years ago, a train derailed near the old Wabash depot, sending dozens of passengers to their death in a fiery crash. The train was said to have been carrying a mysterious cargo, and some say the passengers were never properly identified. The wreck was cleared and the tracks were rebuilt, but the spirits of the lost souls didn't move on. People claim that on certain nights, especially during the fog, the sound of a train's whistle can be heard echoing through the night air, despite no trains operated in the area. The whistle is followed by the distant rumble of a train moving along the tracks, growing louder and louder, as if it's coming straight for you. Locals say that if you're near the tracks when the sound of the phantom train grows deafening, it's already too late. Some have reported seeing the glowing spectral train as it raced down the tracks, its lights flickering in the eyes of the dead, and hearing the screams of passengers still trapped in the wreck. It's said that if you stand in the path of the train, you'll vanish without a trace, just like the poor souls who never made it out of the wreck years ago. The local authorities have investigated, but no one has ever found evidence of the phantom train. Still, people swear by the eerie sightings, and every year, more and more people disappear, leaving only an echo of a train's whistle in the air. To this day, the railroad tracks in Wabash remain cursed, and no one has dared to stay out after dark. In the heart of LaPorte, Indiana, there stands a crumbling abandoned jailhouse, long since emptied of prisoners but never fully abandoned. Built in the 1800s, the old LaPorte jail was the site of countless grim events, and some say it's still haunted by the restless spirits of those who died there. The most terrifying story surrounding the jail is a man named Exel Blackwell. Blackwell was a notorious outlaw who was captured in the late 1800s after a series of violent robberies across the state. He was thrown into the LaPorte jail, but his capture didn't go unnoticed. The townspeople were furious, and many believed that he was the cause of strange, unexplained deaths in the area. Some believed that Blackwell had made a pact with the devil. On one night before his scheduled execution, the jail was mysteriously locked down. No one could get in or out. The guards heard strange noises echoing from the dark, empty cells, chains rattling, low growls, and even footsteps of a man not seen. By morning, Blackwell was gone, his cell was empty, and the heavy iron bars showed no signs of having been tampered with. The legend says that Blackwell never left. His spirit, twisted by years of hatred and supernatural dealings, is said to haunt the old jail. People who have dared to enter the ruins reported seeing shadowy figures in the windows and strange cold spots where the temperature drops drastically. Others say they've heard the same footsteps that the guards heard all those years ago, except this time they came closer. Some claim that if you stand near the jail at midnight, you'll hear Blackwell's voice, faint and raspy, calling for help or cursing the town. But if you're brave enough to respond, the voice will turn into a scream, and the very ground beneath your feet will seem to swallow you whole. The old jail is still there, decaying quietly in the shadows of LaPorte, and every year, on the anniversary of Blackwell's escape, strange lights flicker around the building, and the whispers grow louder. Locals say that the restless spirit of Blackwell isn't finished yet. Some believe he's still looking for someone to take his place. In Greensburg, Indiana, there's an old crumbling bridge that locals know to stay far away from after dark. The bridge, known as Widow's Bridge, is the subject of whispers and fearful glances whenever it's mentioned. The legend goes back to the late 1800s when a young woman named Eleanor was left waiting for her husband, a soldier, to return from the Civil War. After months of anxious waiting, Eleanor would walk the bridge each evening, hoping to catch a glimpse of him coming home. She became so obsessed with the idea of his return that she eventually became a ghostly figure pacing the bridge at twilight, her eyes constantly scanning the horizon for his silhouette. One cold evening, she heard the sound of footsteps on the bridge and rushed forward, but it was not her husband. Instead, it was a brutal man who had caused her heart attack, a man who had lied to her about the death of her husband. Enraged and heartbroken, Eleanor confronted him in a fit of anger, pushed him over the side of the bridge. The man fell to his death in the creek below, and Eleanor, realizing what she had done, threw herself in the water after him. The river claimed them both, and the townspeople found their bodies the next morning, forever linked to the tragedy. Ever since that fateful night, anyone who dares to cross Widow's Bridge after dark reports strange happenings. Some say they can hear the soft cry of a woman weeping in the distance. Others have sworn to see a pale figure dressed in a white gown pacing the bridge under the moonlight. The most chilling stories come from those who have claimed they've been followed by a cold, invisible force, the sensation of cold hands brushing against their backs, and the whisper of a voice calling out, "Find him, find him." Locals say that if you stand on the bridge at midnight and call out the name Eleanor, she will appear before you, her eyes empty, searching for her husband she never saw again. But beware. Some say Eleanor doesn't just search for her husband. She searches for those who dare trespass, and she has been known to pull people into the river, never to be seen again.